Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a fantastic show this evening. And CNN, the trusted name in news. The trusted news and name. A really wonderful, really amazing article. The former vice president is doing worse than Clinton among Hispanic voters. Biden is doing worse than Clinton among Hispanic voters. CNN, June 11th, 2020. Joe Biden is reaching heights that Clinton never did. This late in the campaign against Trump, that's because the media has never been as apoplectic and hysterical, which is not going to work out on November 4th. The hangover is not going to be fun. Clinton crushed Trump with Hispanic registered voters in the final 2016 pre-election poll. She led by 61 to 23%. President Trump got almost 30% of the Latino vote. Biden, on the other hand, holds an average of 58 to 33%. He's doing, it's interesting. President Trump has, 10 points more in terms of support. If I'm reading this correctly, 61 to 58, 61 to 23. And so you're looking at 10 points more among Latino and Hispanic voters in terms of support for Trump, and 3 points less in terms of support compared to Clinton for Biden. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? And this is the largest non-white demographic group, according to NBC. Dun dun dun. NBC News. So what do you think is going to happen? To my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me you help support my my voice to my Patreon. You help support my voice long term. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you agree with me or not, I have a article I wrote a while back. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the most dominant athlete and boxer in history. Share that. Read it. Give me your thoughts below, but read it. Also, share my Times of Israel article, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Hillary Clinton, not Biden, will be nominee. And share my Huffington Post article, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. C. Farina, thank you so very much. You're so on target. Great show as always. C. Farina, thank you. C. Farina, thank you so very, very, very much. And it's going to be amazing. Please be here November 3rd. The euphoria alone. C. Farina, first, thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. Be here November 3rd. C. Farina. It's 4th and goal every single day from now until the election. All they have is emotion. They need to generate emotion, enough negativity, but you cannot win on negativity. They tried to say that that's what Trump was. Trump is a demagogue and he caters to base emotions. Actually, he doesn't. The great thing about Trump is he doesn't care whether you vote for him or not. He really doesn't. He's like, I'm going to say certain things I feel. If you don't like it, if you think it's horrible, and just look at the Democratic side. And if every time they sweep something under the rug, every time the Democratic Party just pretends they don't hear Biden, whether he says, you ain't, the you ain't comment with Charlemagne, or the fact that he worked with segregationists, every time they sweep that under the rug, it only helps President Trump. Because they have to really, really look at intent and say, oh, well, you know what, he meant this. C. Farina, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much, C. Farina. Greatly appreciated. Doing the math, Biden's margin of about 25 points is more than 10 points lower. What did I just say? 10 points lower than Clinton's. This is why they're going to, the phoenix is going to be resurrected from the ashes. They're not, don't believe me, the DNC spokeswoman said, we are not officially nominating Biden. We are not officially nominating Biden. So, she said it, not me. I just made the biggest political call of all time. My Huffington Post article written in 2017 will be the biggest political call of all time. This is more because Trump is doing better without third-party candidates than Biden taking a lower share of the vote. See, look at this. It couldn't be because Latino voters want President Trump because they feel he's a better president for the economy, which is what most people, even most independents, feel the same way. People on average say President Trump is better on the economy. God forbid you ever give him credit for anything. Biden's weaker margin is occurring even as he is doing better overall. Why is Biden doing better? Because he's not Trump? I still haven't been given an explanation. C. Farina, thank you. C. Farina, thank you very much. April Christman, thank you. Thank you, April. Thank you. Kaylee Smith, I watched a compilation video today of YouTube of all. Yeah, I know. Is one even you? Oh, wow. I didn't. Kaylee, that might be. As I would have known about that. I think, Kaylee, that it has to be not photoshopped, but manipulated somehow. Kaylee. I'm not a fan of Biden, and he won't be the nominee, but I think it might. That had to have been. That video cannot be accurate. I never heard a report of him saying that. I think that's the issue. Kaylee, thank you. Kaylee Smith, thank you. C. Farina, C. Farina, November 3rd. C. Farina, Kaylee Smith, November 3rd. Oh my goodness, it's Christmas. Come early. It's Christmas and Hanukkah and every beautiful holiday out there. Come early. It's going to be so amazing. It's going to be, ladies and gentlemen, C. Farina. I don't know if you're a college football fan, but if it's like your crosstown rival, it'll be like beating them to go to the championship game. C. Farina, thank you. It'll be actually better than that. C. Farina, thank you. Be here November 3rd. I know you will. Thank you so much, C. Farina. Thank you. Kaylee, I think that was a manipulated video. I don't think he ever said that, but he said a lot of other crazy things. C. Farina, thank you. Michael Connor! I'm glad I finally figured out how to donate to your excellent cause. Thank you so much, Michael Connor. Thank you. Michael Connor. Thank you very much for the kind words. Have a fantastic evening, Michael. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Valerie Rogers, don't worry about the press. He got it. The altered, that's the word. Luke St. Martin, Eric H526. That's the word. Quick draw, Luke St. Martin and the regulator, Eric H526, the two best moderators in all of YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine the meltdown that's going to take place? He's going to take Twitter along with the Democratic Party into the dustbin of history. At least this era of Democratic politics. My God. And it's going to be with Clinton again, which will be even. That'll be for the Rose Bowl, the national championship, and then the NFL did something to where if you win the national championship, you get 10 starters on your team in the first round automatically. Could you imagine if they did that? Could you imagine if they did that? But which would make sense anyway. I mean, Valerie Rogers, thank you. C. Farina, thank you. Kaylee Smith, thank you. I think it was altered. The video had to have been altered. Kaylee, thank you. C. Farina, thank you again. So, ladies and gentlemen, Biden's weaker margin is occurring even as he's doing better overall. In the last 2 months, Biden's margin over Trump is nearly double in these 8 polls. 9 points. What Clinton's was among registered voters, 5 points. What he's like, think. This is why they're so happy. They're so euphoric. They're living in this fantasy world. Do you realize that 9 is almost double 5? 10 would be double 5, but 9 is almost double. Biden is up 9. Clinton was only up 5 at this point. That means Trump is done. That means Trump is done, everybody. The nightmare is over. The nightmare is over. We can do away with the orange monster. He's so divisive. He's so divisive. Can't stand him. I want a good Republican or a good Democrat. It ain't gonna work. And then you have these journalists saying, we live in fear. We live in fear every day that Trump gets reelected. Hold on, let's just read this. So he's doing much better. God bless the Latino and Hispanic voters, no matter who you're voting for, Democrat or Republican. But when Trump wins, it will be in large part because Hispanic and Latino Trump supporters. I'm going to say that again. When Trump wins, the biggest reason will be Hispanic and Latino Trump supporters and black Trump supporters and Asian Trump supporters. Asian American Trump supporters, African American Trump supporters, Latino and Hispanic Trump supporters. And the media is going to spin it somehow. Oh, yeah, they pressed the wrong button. Oh, something happened. Oh, my God, no, it was a bad no. It was, something happened. There was a time warp. Who knows? They'll never admit. What was I going to do? Oh, my God, what was I going to do? John Barnard. Trump should request the first debate be held behind high school gym. The former vice president couldn't find his way. John, thank you. Thank you, John. What was I going to say? Oh, my God. Luke St. Mark and Eric H526. What was I just about to do right now? I was going to look up something. Okay. All right. So, yeah, hold on. Let's see. I was just about to do something fantastic. Let's type in Trump. Okay, we'll just go to the... Trump's entire presidency has been a gift to Putin. Okay, but whatever you say, Biden. Whatever you say. They make stories up. There's now this story about intelligence. There's intelligence that... I want to know how the former vice president assailed President Trump by punish Russia for offering... Citing officials briefed on the matter. Citing officials briefed on the matter, New York Times reported on Friday that a Russian military intelligence unit secretly paid. That's why we're getting out of there. Citing officials recently briefed on the matter. Bad news! Thank you, bad news. Thank you, bad news. C. Farina, thank you. Bad news, thank you so very, very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you, always. Thank you, bad news. Thank you. David Von Kittering! Remember, today's sheepler, tomorrow's mutton. Okay. David, hello. C. Farina! Any idea what's going to happen with mail-in ballots? I don't think that they're going to... I don't think that's going to be a factor in the manner that they want it to be. So Pennsylvania and California. Pennsylvania will be an issue. Mail-in ballots are going to be a big part of the voting there. But I don't think it's going to be as much of a nationwide potential problem, just because the fraud is so the potential for fraud is so apparent. But C. Farina, thank you so very, very much. C. Farina, everyone here, citing officials, bad news. Citing officials briefed on the matter. New York Times reported on Friday. Why would I care? Do we have to, like, is this reporting? This was never, they would never report an intelligence. Like, what do I care what intelligence reports show about anything? They're not, you cannot fact check an intelligence report. The assumption there is that it's accurate. And we learned from the Bush administration it's certainly not accurate. Actually, JFK learned with the Bay of Pigs it's not accurate. Doug Barnard! Could something big come out before November? I think so. Sure. But see, Doug, see, Farina brought this up with the mail-in ballots. I don't think that they're trying their best to win on circumstance and emotion. They don't have any. They're not running on a platform. They will not win this way. They're running on fear and groupthink and hysteria. So, Doug, thank you. Kathleen Smith, thank you. C. Farina, thank you again. Bad news, thank you as always. Bad news, thank you. C. Farina, thank you. You cannot win in life if you're always. I can't tell. You can't tell your wife or your husband, I just want to let you know that sources have told me that you were with someone else at lunch. I wasn't. What are you talking about? Intelligence sources have told me. Who? Who are you talking about? Don't worry about who. Well, I mean, do you have accurate information? Because that's not true at all. The intelligence sources have told me. And it's been reported in the New York Times. None of this is accurate. We have no idea if it's accurate or not accurate. And if it's accurate, we need to leave that region of the world immediately, which is what President Trump is doing. Don't you love, like, they say, oh, retaliate because another country is doing something in the region of the world that you've been in for 20 years. We have no clue if the intelligence reports are accurate. And generally Pearl Harbor was an intelligence failure, but the Bay of Pigs, Gulf of Tonkin, Bush's failed foreign policy, they didn't even predict the fall of the Berlin Wall. I mean, it should be unintelligence. It should be the unintelligent community. Sources say this, sources say that. Doug Barnard, what if a high-level FBI gets charged before? I mean, that would probably end up hurting President Trump. Even though it's counterproductive. I mean, it would be counterintuitive to say that. I would say, Doug, it would be counterintuitive to say that would be detrimental to President Trump, but I think it would. Because they'd be like, you say what he did to Comey. He's a monster. And then you'd have all these left-leaning people, justice for Comey. He was indicted. Justice for Comey. Yeah, you better believe that GoFundMe would be like $1 million within a week. If Durham ever indicted Comey, which he should eventually, you better believe that GoFundMe would be like $1 million. It would be like $1 million GoFundMe in a week. So, I mean, the issue is they're probably going to indict the lower level people first, and then they'll flip and sing, and it'll happen after the election because the media, the media generally is an extension of the Democratic Party now more than ever. Okay, now more than ever, just an extension of the Democratic Party now more than ever. So I think it behooves President Trump to, I mean, I would love that. Are you kidding? I would love that. And I've been saying all of these people should be indicted, but all of that will take place eventually after the election. So the law is not really law, it's subjective. Well, I mean, to an extent, it's always been, I don't want to sound like a left-leaning college professor, but unfortunately, it's subjective. It's always been subjective to an extent. To an extent. There are certain things that, like, for example, Richard Nixon he was the most powerful man in the country, but he couldn't get away with anything. So, I mean, he couldn't get away with the cover-up. So, there's the issue with what happened was that media and President Obama's administration and intelligence officials worked together to create this myth, and people truly believed the myth. And they indicted people based on a myth. They were investigating a myth, and if anyone got in their way, they were indicted, and then they could say, oh, well, we indicted all these people based on trying to find out if Trump worked with Russia. And you know what? Well, we couldn't find anything, but we think that he benefited, so he probably did. At the end of the day, it's not, they don't care about, look, the Democratic Party and media, they don't really care why anyone's voting for President Trump. Climb BMX! Climb BMX, thank you. Groople. Wait on this, I rolled out biblical. Thank you. I don't know what that is, but Groople, thank you. Great name. Climb BMX, thank you as always. Climb BMX. I used to have a BMX bike in the 80s. Climb BMX, thank you. Doug Barnard, that is part of the problem. The rule of law fixes. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Unfortunately, we've had very, very powerful, influential people utilize. See, once you have the media on your side, you can get away with a lot. And so the New York Times keeps on running these stories. They did from the moment Trump won, and the Washington Post. Well, intelligence shows. Well, who cares? We have no idea if it's accurate. This is like the telephone game. I heard from a very reputable source that, and then fill in the blank. Who cares? Who cares what intelligence shows? Was intelligence accurate during the Bush administration? No. Was intelligence accurate during the Kennedy administration with the Bay of Pigs? No. Was intelligence accurate during Reagan's administration? More so than either Bush or JFK's administration, but not really. They didn't even predict the fall of the Berlin Wall. They're always, President Obama's administration filled with intelligence failures, failed NATO intervention being one of them. I mean, they get away with all these intelligence failures, but climb BMX, thank you. Thank you again. C. Farina, bad news, thank you. I mean, look, there's two scenarios. After President Trump wins, things could get a lot worse. Or things could get very amusing where Democrats try to make things a lot worse and they just implode in their narcissism and outrage and indignation of losing again. If they lose again, they're toast politically. If they lose again, President Trump, it's going to be 4 years of the big payback, James Brown. I don't think they're going to go with the exhumed body. who, yeah, you know the deal, man. You know the deal. They're not going to go with you know the deal. You know the deal, man. You know the deal, man. So, it'll be Clinton again. Client BMX, C. Farina, bad news, thank you. Doug Barnard! HA, if Barr is corrupt, shouldn't we go back and look at all his old DOJ cases? This is all nonsense. Why will not one official stand up and say it? Well, I don't think Barr is corrupt at all. I think what the issue is that they don't have media on their side. Let's say if they indict tomorrow Doug and Klein BMX and C. Farina and Bad News and everybody, and Eric H526 and David and Luke St. Martin and Valerie and everybody, if they indict McCabe tomorrow, the GoFundMe is at $1 million. And everyone is defending, he's on every show, and then they get a grand jury, and the grand jury then says, well, you know what, the media it somehow influences the grand jury, or somehow the grand jury is influenced by the zeitgeist. I mean, they're not going to get... People don't... Look, Democrats, the establishment, Republicans also is the issue. If establishment Republicans don't care because they see Trump as... The establishment Republicans are loyal to President Trump, but they would like to get him out of the way. So, I know, I agree. All cases, I have to look into is you're talking about the Herbert Walker Bush days, maybe. But he's better than, I mean, with John Durham and William Barr has already taken over with the Mueller probe. Put that to bed, put that to rest. So a lot of other things he's done too, to defend the president. So, not your problem. I am from Venezuela, and I feel less optimistic by the day. I feel like Republicans just sit on their hands. I don't want to repeat Venezuela here. Not your problem. God bless you. Thank you for watching and your thoughts. I think that the Republicans, they're definitely sitting on their hands. I agree with you. But I think that they know that the only chance they have is Trump. That's the only chance they have. So they're loyal to President Trump. I think the Democrats are going to lose. I don't see any path for victory. I don't think people are as apoplectic or hysterical against Trump as Democrats. The polls they don't talk about, like, this segment, the majority of Latinos and Hispanics, or I should say a greater percentage, are voting for President Trump than even in 2016, and more than Romney and McCain, much more than Romney and McCain. So in terms of a Republican, he has a greater chance with one of the most important, if not the most important, voting demographic for Democrats. So, in addition to the fact that people are going to vote on the economy, in addition to the fact that they're not going to go with they're not going to go with Biden. They're going to go with Clinton, and she'll lose again. If they went with Biden, they would lose in a landslide. Biden has to speak eventually. He has to actually speak and say something, and he doesn't, ever. Not your problem, thank you. Not your problem, thank you. Doug Barnard. H.A. Tell not your problem. We love her. God bless. God bless you, Doug. Thank you. No Serrano, thank you. C. Farina, thank you. I just I don't see any way President Trump loses, because I don't see anything that Democrats offer except anger. You cannot offer, like, Democrats have to realize Trump was famous for 30 years before becoming president. People watched The Apprentice for over a decade. They watched President Trump, I think it was over a decade. How long was Trump on The Apprentice? So, what was he on? 8 seasons? 7, 8 seasons? On the... no. 15 seasons? So I don't even know... was he on 14 seasons? Then you get, it took Trump 14 years to realize why The Apprentice was named The Apprentice. Oh my God, it really did. And then you get like this fascination. They have this fascination with President Trump. And they get this fascination where they're wrong on everything. Well, former Republicans don't like Trump. Yeah, well, who cares? Who cares? They're Republicans or former Republicans for a reason. Because they kept losing, or I should say the Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, the establishment Republican types lost to President Trump. Now he has like around 90% approval rating. So... Alex! Can Hillary choose Barack Obama for VP? There was an article that said that she could. There was an article on The Hill that said that she could. But, and that actually, the article is actually in The Hill. So... let's see. I mean, Detroit News here. Opinion: Biden should make Obama his running mate. But hold on. There was actually an article, but I don't think that's going to happen. But there was actually an article, I think it was in the Hill. Biden has talked with Obama about possible vice presidential. Here, so okay. So here you go. A Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama ticket to replace Joe Biden, The Hill. So there you go. It's in The Hill. A Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama ticket to replace Joe Biden. Is it even possible? So they go into it. They say, oh, well, it is possible. It's going to be Clinton, though. But... I don't think so. I think, they could, theoretically. But once Madam Secretary... Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. I think that what would happen is... there would still be a repeat of 2016 because President Trump won in large part because people didn't want a third Obama term. So that's the issue. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, there's absolutely nothing that people like. Can anyone say, well, what has Biden accomplished? I'm not saying that he was vice president. He was chosen to be vice president. That's not, it's somewhat of an accomplishment, not really. You have Joe Biden now this will be very interesting on who he picks as VP. It'll be very, very, very interesting on who he picks as VP. If it's Elizabeth Warren, this election will be very amusing. It'll be very, very amusing. Because then you talk about a person who didn't support Bernie Sanders in 2016 when he needed her to support him. And you're talking about a person who then made up for it by making up a quote. So it's interesting. It is interesting. I think that it's going to be really fun because it'll be fun to see. It'll be amusing to see the transition, the transition from going from them talking about Biden to Andrew Morgan. Andrew Morgan. HA, do you think Hillary will be the Democratic candidate? Jimbo. Yeah, Andrew Morgan. I love it. Andrew Morgan, thank you. I do. I do. They're not going to go with Biden or else we have a landslide victory. Biden, you're talking about somebody who looks and communicates like an exhumed body. So that's not happening. Andrew Morgan, thank you very much. Andrew, thank you. Thank you very much. Old school dad, man. Among other things, more people supported more secure than they thought. Yes, that's true. That's true. Old school dad, man. Thank you, old school dad, man. Andrew Morgan, absolutely. Let's see what Madam Secretary is doing. She's so fantastic. She's fantastic. Let's see. Clinton's going to be nominee. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. I don't know how it's going to happen. Could be that Biden slides into second base. Who knows? Old school dad, man. Andrew Morgan. Let's see what Bernard Sanders is up to. What's going on here? We have a rigged economy. That means billionaires are getting richer. What? They're very afraid of you. Bloomberg is very afraid of you. Bloomberg got... About 2 people saw my upload yesterday on the... obviously more than that, but on the fact that Sanders unveils amendment to slash Pentagon budget by $74 billion. How about bringing home Americans? How about saying that? This was... What is the point of slashing the Pentagon budget? This is like everything is symbolic. Everything is symbolic on the left. There's nothing that's of substance. Almost nothing. Everything's symbolic. We're going to slash the budget. You're going to keep people in counterinsurgency conflicts. You're going to keep people in places where you have Russian soldiers in close proximity so we can just end the planet. And that really will be the end of the planet. So... So Bernie Sanders proposed 10% cut, Pentagon cut to invest in health and education. This is meaningless. Why don't you applaud President Trump for ending our involvement, signing a deal in Afghanistan to end our 20-year involvement? But no, you can't do that. Everything is just so... You have to bring home Americans from these places. That should be the emphasis. A lot more important than climate change. Why? Because climate change is an ongoing issue that doesn't you can't obliterate a country within the span of weeks. President Obama, who really believed in climate change, yet, by the way, what was it? The greatest expansion of domestic oil and gas production of any president in history. This is a fact. So you can't, they completely disregard anything. Like, they have these buzzwords that are linked to emotional responses. Doug! That could possibly be Doug Barnard. That could possibly be. If that happens, I'll remember, your call on there. Deesby's Art, thank you. Doug, that could possibly happen. Something's going to happen. I don't know what. Something's going to happen. I don't know what. Johnny B, you are a political comic genius. Thank you, Johnny B. Thank you. Thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you. It means a lot to me, and I appreciate you watching. Johnny B. Be here. Johnny, be here. November 3rd. November 3rd is going to be so amazing. I swear to you, November 3rd, I'm just going to go, because I don't have Twitter. If you see anyone impersonating me, ladies and gentlemen, on Twitter, report them to Twitter, take screenshots, but oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just tell you, I'll be working, this channel, H.A. Goodman's other channel. It'll be amazing. And check out my latest segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel. You'll love it. But I'm probably I'll go to bed that night just scrolling through all the apoplectic, hysterical, seething, fuming Twitter, just the resistance profiles who are like, good job, America. We did it again, America. This country's over. You're going to hear this a lot. This country's done. This country, I give up. I give up. I give up trying to spread negativity every 2 seconds. I give up. This country's done. This country's over, man. Game over, man. Game over. What movie? It's Aliens 2. Game over, man. Game over, man. Game over. Johnny B, thank you so very, very much. And then you have, it's funny, too, because I'm not going to get it. Aliens 2 was amazing. Aliens 2, oh, game over, man. That's right. That was great. That was, that was so awesome. That was so awesome. Game over, man. Game over. That was so great. Bill Paxton, the man. He was great. He was great. He was great. '80s movies were the best. Love 80s movies. 90s, early 2000s, and then after early 2000s, you pretty much, or mid 2000s, you could say. Movies, I went into my whole thing. Movies nowadays just, they're trying to teach you a lesson about life. Yes. Oh, Doug Barnett. AJ, I'm just piggybacking you, but I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, it could be that. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to happen. I have no clue. But I will tell you that this whole, and the thing is, I think the notion that people can't imagine it taking place because the response would be, oh my God, what? The assumption would be, well, I'm not voting for a political party that does this. I mean, it's Biden's. But they're not gonna care. They're gonna say, well, Clinton, the Russians stole it from her. And you know what? I want the first female president. We need it. And you know what? God bless her. Be fantastic when she runs. Loses again. Well, and then she writes the book. What happens this time? What happens yet again? Godfather was great. Thank you, Johnny B. again. Thank you. Very kind of you. For the kind words. Let's see. Bernard Sanders. How about I cut the Pentagon budget? That really makes a lot of sense in a Republican-controlled Senate with Biden as possible president, which he won't be president. It's going to be Hillary Clinton. But once I support Hillary Clinton again, when Bernie Sanders supports Hillary Clinton again, I think there's going to be like a supernova in some alternate galaxy that's going to create a star. Something's going to happen. Some supernova is going to create another universe when Biden or when Bernie endorses Hillary Clinton. Wow, these things are beautiful. Look at these beautiful supernovas. Also, what, a Ford car? Supernova. Is it Ford? Car. Chevy, right? Yeah, that's a nice car. Chevy Supernova. Yes. That is a nice car. 1964 Supernova. My God. Oh my God, that's a nice car. It's a very nice car. It's a beautiful, beautiful car. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and just and I'm on 31458. Recommendation to not take. And I'm on 31458. Thank you. Can't really talk about that stuff here, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you as always. Adambon 31458. Thank you. Thank you as always, Adambon 31458. One thing that will never, ever, I don't think classic cars are gonna ever run out of style. I mean, do you? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I would so much rather, oh my God, I would so much rather drive a 1964 Supernova, Chevy Supernova than a wonderful new whatever. Let's, Adamon 31458, thank you again. Thank you. Some things I can't really talk about, but Agent Smith, hello. Agent Pepsi, hello. Webby! To my Australian crew, Webby, I hope all is well. Give my best to Jimbo and Aussie J and everybody. And the whole crew. Webby, thank you so very much. Jimbo! Adam on 31558, thank you. Webby and Jimbo. The whole crew is here. Webby! Jimbo! Madam Secretary steps in. The media wall-to-wall positive. There's a spike in the polls for HSC. Back to Trump, Trump, Trump. Exactly. Oh, my God. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Hurry it up. Hurry it up. Oh, my God. 97 Jeep Cherokee. 4x4. That's old school. Jimbo! I'm going to look that up. The 69 Dodge Super B. Jimbo, Webby. Have you heard of the 1969 Dodge Super B? Yes. Oh, this is a fantastic picture. Oh my God, this is a great picture. And it's not just the car I'm talking about. This is fantastic. This is great in every way. Try to make this picture. Wow. That's a great car. That's a great picture. That's fantastic. How many horsepower is that? Probably a lot. Horsepower. Jimbo! Webby! 335 horsepower. Wow. Uh, 335 horsepower. Lamborghini has 730 horsepower. 730. Oh, that's crazy. The new Lamborghinis have 730 horsepower. What is that? That's like Arya Lee. Love this chat. We love you, Arya. Thank you. Thank you, Arya. Jimbo, it's exactly what's going to take place. Webby, you're awesome, Webby. You're awesome, Jimbo. Thank you. Arya, we love you too. Thank you. Doug, again, thank you. HIM from Grand Rapids. All my life, I'm 46. Went to school with Floyd. Have 6. Oh, wow. 6 fight tickets. Lived with his aunt. He's the greatest. Wow. If you could please, Doug, if you can, if you ever have the opportunity, please share my Huffington Post article with him, or perhaps somebody he knows. My Huffington Post article in the pinned comment. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the most dominant athlete and boxer of all time. Thank you, Doug. Very cool. Awesome. He really is, when you consider 50-0 and 26 26 victories over current or former world champions. I don't think people understand that. So I don't think people really so Floyd, so if you read my article below, everyone, and Doug, thank you. If you could pass that on to the great Floyd Mayweather Jr. somehow, that'll be fantastic. But Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the most dominant athlete and boxer of all time. So check it out. 24 wins against current and former champions, 26 victories in world title fights. Over half. He's 50-0, but it's not just half of his victories are in world title fights. And he has belts in 5 different weight divisions. So, and there's never been an issue like there's not a hint of any performance enhancing, nothing. So, and I go on to talk about a whole bunch of things. So, pertaining to why he's so great, but But ladies and gentlemen, Doug, thank you again. Webby, thank you. Jimbo, thank you. Aria, polls are giving Democrats false hope. I agree. It's going to be fantastic. Aria, I need you and Jimbo and Webby and Adamon 31458. Thank you, Adamon 31458. Very kind of you regarding that. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Doug Barnard, Doug, and Johnny B, and everyone here. I just want to say thank you to everyone here. Your support means a great deal to me. To my super chat, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be the most amusing, like November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Because 4th is going to be, see, if you like November 3rd, 4th is just going to be amazing. So if you enjoyed November 3rd, then you're going to love then you're really going to love November 4th. Because The Hangover is not going to, it's just going to be amazing. It's just going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, James, thank you. People, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. Everyone, God bless. I'll be back at around 11:15 or so. So, Agent Smith, hello. Everyone, thank you so very much. To my super chat again, thank you. People, thank you so much. And all I can tell you is have a great weekend. Everyone, to my super chat again, thanks so much. Everyone be here November 3rd. Everyone be here November 3rd, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be phenomenal. Give me your thoughts below. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in about an hour and a half. Thanks, everybody. Have a blessed night, and God bless.